we last left our heroes, they had, with the exception of Perrin, each been visited by one of Grot's Cambion children in their dreams. The half-demons preyed upon the players' deepest desires and darkest fears to manipulate them into searching out an intricate brass cube said to be hiding among the dragon's hoard in Waterdeep. The next morning, they traveled west toward the high road and came across a patrol galloping to investigate the shimmering mile-wide dome that had appeared over Nightstone. When the players told the patrol that Demon Grotz was responsible, one of the scouts immediately rode ahead to warn the city, while the other remained behind to escort the players north. A day's journey from Waterdeep, the party began to set up camp for the evening and were ambushed by 7 men with longbows from Daggerford. They were led by a young lord, distraught with grief and dragging a blood-soaked canvas containing the body of his brother. When the dome appeared, it tore through their hunting lodge, cleaving his brother in half and trapping their healers on the other side. Combat ensued, during which Perrin used magic to break what was left of the young lord's mind, forcing he and his men to make a hasty retreat. The party tended to their wounded and settled in for whatever sleep they could muster. Hello, and welcome back to Rivals of Waterdeep. My name is Aram Vartian, and I am your DM. And we're going to go around the table and introduce our players and the characters they are playing.
Hi, I'm Tiny DePass. I play Celise. She is a human paladin who's a little bit cranky on this adventure, but she'll be okay.
I'm Brandon Stennis. I'm playing Ren Leodon. I'm a high elf sorcerer.
My name is Cicero Holmes. I am playing Perrin Underbow, a halfling bard who loves life.
Hi, I'm Carlos Luna. I am playing Knock Knock, a half-orc fighter.
Hi, I'm Serena Marie, and I'll be playing Ashbourne, a half-elf ranger.
And I'm Sharif Jackson. I'll be playing Shaka, a tiefling warlock.
Okay, so where we left off last week, you guys had been attacked by a Lord of Daggerford and his hunting party after his brother had been unfortunately ripped in half by this bubble that had been summoned. They saw you leave, so they blamed you. They weren't exactly rational, and they went after you. I believe you broke the young Lord's mind. Well, what was left of the young Lord's mind. They dragged him away, and their other wounded, and you've probably earned yourself an enemy for life. So they all ran off. You guys set camp, slept the best you could, set up watch. Sleep this time was relatively peaceful for all of you. And as morning breaks, you guys are finding that the scout that was with you, whose name, by the way, is Roland Holbrook, he would have introduced himself by now. So Roland is up early. He's put on his armor, and he's brushing down his horse. What are you all doing?
Perrin will be making breakfast. Is there stuff?
Well, Perrin's not going to be doing anything, I assume. I assume the invisible servant's going to be making breakfast.
Well, yes. But Perrin takes credit for it. So,
of course.
Unseen servant, it is time to do your business.
There's a little whoosh of air, you know, and like you can't see it, right? But just by the way that the wind blows, you're pretty sure it took a deep bow as soon as it appeared. And it came back up and started immediately making breakfast. Now, his larder is still incredibly well stocked. Dwarves tend to be prepared. So you've got at least enough, you know, like fresh stuff for a week. And then there's like hardtack and everything else for like another couple weeks. Like you're fine. You got plenty of supplies.
Perrin Underbow makes the most wonderful breakfast and second breakfast and lunch and dinners. I'm impeccable.
Excellent. So that's all being laid out. I assume everyone eats?
Yeah.
Okay. Excellent. What are you all doing this morning?
I want to go talk to Roland. He's after.
Yeah, he's just standing there brushing down his horse.
Okay.
Hey, man. Have you been to Waterdeep before?
I am a god of Waterdeep. And good morning.
Oh, good morning. Sorry, I just asked you questions before, like, greeting you.
That is all right. And he's brushing down his horse. As a scout, we spend most of our time guarding the road. So we're out for weeks at a time, going up and down, mile after mile.
Wow, That sounds really, really noble.
It's quiet. Gives you much time to think.
What's your favorite thing to think about?
And then he thinks for a moment. And he's like, I don't know. And he stops for a second. He's like, there's this girl back home in the city.
Oh my God, Dish!
Well,
Tell me!
she's a couple classes above. I am just a soldier.
Yeah.
And, you know,
So
she
she
is
like
a
a
lady.
5 and he's like a 3.
She's a lady. She's a lady. Yeah, basically. You know, if soldiers came in at like, 2s, right? She's gonna be like a 4, and probably wants to marry up to a 5. So, yeah. So, he's like, I don't have much of a chance and I'm never in the city anyway, but I think of her often.
We're gonna go to the city. Is there anything you want me to bring to her? I can Cyrano this for you.
He kind of looks at you and like really tries hard not to glance down at the arm, but does anyway. And he's like, I appreciate it, but I believe I'll handle my own business. Thank you, young lady.
Oh, that would be a Cyrano like situation.
Totally.
Because like Cyrano had the nose and like she has the claw.
Totally.
Like,
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. But no, he's good.
Fair enough.
All right. So he's eager to get going because it's a long day's journey. So after you guys eat, are you ready to break camp and go?
Yeah. Celise walks with him intermittently, just kind of chatting soldier to soldier and
Totally.
And just
soldier talk. Yeah.
Just kind of also just checking out Ash, like, is she okay? Like wondering where Chips is.
No, Chips is happy. Chips slept great. Chips always sleeps very soundly. And Chips is just kind of bounding in the morning. Chips is like a lot of extra energy. So he keeps bounding off the trail into the grass and, then he'll bound back over and occasionally you'll hear him kill something and then he bounds back over. Happy as could be.
Does he bring the kills to me, or is it just
mostly you'll just
eat them?
you'll hear a kill and then there'll be like a lot of kind of like the grass shifting back and forth, and then he'll come bounding behind, he'll be 100 feet behind and come running up. Great. Happy as can be.
Yes, so I'm gonna go check on the mayor actually.
Oh, sure. Yeah. So Melanie has finished her breakfast and she has a journal with her and she has a pen and she's just been writing and she is also looking over notes and circling things, and she looks up at you and says, "Oh, morning."
Just want to make sure. I know it's kind of a crazy battle there. Just want to make sure that you're okay.
I'm fine. You all were quite impressive.
Okay. Well, what are you taking notes on over there?
Well, and she's flipping through and she's like, I'm going through some old contacts. We're going to have to pull a lot of strings in Waterdeep to get this done. So I'm just trying to make sure I've got everything in a row.
Okay. And who are some of the top contacts that you've written down so far?
Yeah, I don't get any names for this. So she's good. So she shows you a list of names. Some of them are related to her. There's a woman who owns an
Johnerson.
That's good. John Johnerson. I know John Johnerson well.
Joe Shopping.
So one of the people she talks about is that she has a cousin, which I didn't name because I'm a hack, but she has a cousin who owns a hotel in the South Ward called the Jade Rose, and it's a very nice place. And she's pretty, and she owes her a favor, so she can get you guys set up with a suite once you get inside. Okay. So that's one of the angles she's working. There's a couple other people. The rest of the other people are mainly either people on smaller councils like ward councils, or people that would be in banks and have direct link to Mert. So that's what they're looking at.
Okay, so we have a place to stay. Great. Awesome.
Excellent.
Thank you.
So that's what she would be working on. Otherwise, you guys all ready?
Definitely ready.
All right.
Let's do it.
So
Let's go.
you break camp. Assume you get on your wagon.
Yes.
All right. And you all start traveling north. There's traffic now. Like a couple people are passing you on the road. You see a couple wagons in the distance behind you. Like it's starting to get more people. Occasionally there's someone pulled off to the side of the road with a campsite. It's starting to feel like the traffic is, clearly thickening as you're getting near.
Rush hour.
Well, not quite. It's
Rush hour.
It's still pretty lonely. Yeah.
Bumper to bumper.
No, Oregon Trail rush hour.
It's still pretty. It's still pretty sparse, but you are seeing more people. So, I'm sorry, I told lost my Train of thought. Okay, so I have to go back to the top. That's why I'm messed up. I'm sorry, guys. I'm a little bit.
No, that's kind of my fault for requesting
No,
names.
no. It's fine. it's fine. So soon after your break camp, I would like all of you to roll perception and tell me who beats a 14.
Nat 20.
Not me.
Celise is not bright in the
I
morning.
have a 14.
Nice.
I have a
Nat 20.
Nat 20.
Okay.
22.
Okay.
But it's not that.
Yeah, so we're going to start here. So as you guys are rounding a bend and it's in a like part of the road, there's like two groves of trees kind of grow closer to the edge. And as you're pulling up, you see a glint of metal and you see instantly that there is a large group of elves gathered in the woods on either side. They're not really hiding. They're in the woods, but they're standing up. They have bows in their hand, but they're all pointed down. And these are clearly wild elves, or sorry, wood elves.
Perrin has seen some things from my high perch. Rin
Yes.
and Knock Knock.
Yeah.
It looks like some of your cousins maybe are out and about. It looks like there are wood elves about a half a mile above the wood line.
Well, half a mile's a bit far. We're about
got great eyes, man.
yeah, we're about 300, 400 feet away.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Also, why they got to be cousins, man? Why are you assuming that they're related?
These are two distinctly different.
exactly.
First of all,
Why are you-
elf.
what's going
on?
on?
It's a high elf, and he's not really an elf. It is a wood elf.
really an elf.
Fair enough.
He's an elf.
Yeah, and half an elf.
Stereotyping the elves.
I've seen many elves. I've seen them all. They're more similar than they are distinct.
While this is happening, Knock Knock is. I'm gonna roll. I want to roll an investigation.
Absolutely.
Because I want to size them up and see exactly what this is all about.
Totally.
Yeah. So 17.
So you just start scanning the trees and you've picked out like 16, 17 of them already. You recognize them instantly. They're members of your graduating class.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and their bows are down.
Yeah, their bows are all down and they're looking down the road towards you. They probably see you.
Okay, so the first thing he sees is that their bows are down, and he just like makes a note to the group, and he's like, yo, their bows are down. Fear distance is 300 feet. Like, and then he notices like, oh, hey, I know these guys. Hey, and then like he starts running up to them.
Okay, so you start running up. They all step out.
Yeah.
They've got their bows. They're not raising them, but all of them step out. There's like 16 in total. And again, it's literally your whole graduating class. And they don't wave or they don't say anything. They just kind of keep looking at you, right? And then another elf steps out, and it's one of your instructors. And her name is Liatha. And she's unarmed, and she steps out and she opens her arms wide so her palms face out towards you in the like it's a very elven thing. It's kind of the reason why people salute. That all came down from like when you approached someone you were showing that your hands were empty. So all that is her showing that her hands are empty as she steps towards you.
Yeah. As I'm walking towards them, like I'm so excited that I like kind of lose myself, and I'm like, oh yeah, and then I realize like, oh crap, like kind of like if you were in boot camp for a long time, and then you're just like, you're out, but they're not.
But they're not. Exactly.
So you'd be like, oh,
you snap too.
Yeah, I snap too, and like he's like a soldier, like he's like exactly like a soldier, exactly like he's supposed to be, like, and you know, palms out, but still like walking, so they know.
It is good to see you.
It's great. It's great to see you. What are you guys doing? What are you doing here?
We were sent because we need information. You did not return, and you did not report back.
Yeah, things got so messed up over there. There's a dome, and I meant to, and we're on our way, but it was just, I think I have a different calling, maybe, and I got wrapped up in that. I'm so sorry.
As you say, you think you have a different calling. For a moment, her eyes look so sad. They just like gloss over, like she's just about to cry, and she closes them and she nods and she gestures a hand backwards, and one of the elves runs up with this intricate wooden box and she takes it from him, and by the time she turns around, she's right back to being pose. It just took her that little moment. She turns back around and she opens the box. And inside are 2 large arrows, clearly made just for you. The elders had visions of this. What you speak is true. My task is to deliver you these. And what do you do?
Does she hand the box to me?
She opens the box towards you so that the arrows are right in front of you.
Oh, what do they look like? Are they just like...
So one of them is this like dark, long, wide, heavy iron thing. And strapped to the front is this huge fang. Oh. And it just radiates with magical energy and it feels incredibly strong. And she explains to you, now she's just speaking just completely elven, right?
Yeah.
And she says that this is the dragon's bane. This tooth was pulled from a silver dragon. It is a magical weapon that will also bring great harm to dragons. It has been seen that you will need this.
And he takes his hand and he's just like a little shaky at this point, and like just like staring at it. He wasn't really even given gifts, you know what I mean? So this is like a great honor beyond our. It's like, imagine experiencing all your birthdays at one time.
They were all skipped.
Yeah, and now
you get them all back.
A gift doesn't exist like that. And also, like, attachment to things doesn't exist like that for them.
And also, they're believing in your destiny.
Yeah,
they're all bought in.
And also, something like that would be gifts aren't like things that you have, they're parts of you. So if you're being given a gift, like it's like you have like this new, like a new part of you, like a new muscle, like a new sense, or like leveling up, or whatever you want to call it.
Totally.
You know, like so
this is an event.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
This is something that, like, as he looks at it, he knows this is him, and this is a part of him now. But also like this sense of like familiar. It's very familiar for him.
This is who you're meant to be.
Yeah.
This is part of your path.
Yeah.
So you hold that one, and then she shows you the other one. And the other one is a long, thinner, hollow tube of bamboo that's been wrapped with silver cord all the way down it. And at the front is a very, very thin but sharp mithril needle. And at the back of it is hummingbird feathers for the fletching. And she holds it for a moment, and she turns, and there's a tree about 40 feet to her right, and she just hurls it, and it leaves her hand perfectly and sinks deep into a tree, and then she turns her palm upwards, and it returns to her hand in the next moment. You will also need this.
So he takes this one, and it feels great. It feels powerful, but he's scared of the throw. Mainly because, like, when he saw the other elves, he said like a distance of 300, like basically the fear distance.
Sure.
And the elves consider the distance that you hold for is that middle ground is the fear distance.
Totally.
Like,
and this is a much closer distance because it's a thrown weapon.
And when he was at the academy, when he was like studying to be an archer, he was horrible. He was a horrible archer. He was probably the worst. He sunk into that failure, and it was a huge depression, and he just wasn't good at it.
They even tried building bows for him.
Yeah.
Because at first they thought it was like, well, he's just too large for the bow. So they built full bows for your size, and it just didn't help.
And it's something that he really wanted, but it was a talent that he couldn't acquire. So every day every night he would cry himself to sleep because he couldn't. There's so many things you can change about yourself, but there's certain things that you just can never change about yourself.
I am never going to be a boxer. It's never going to happen.
So I've always seen it as like there's this moment where how did Knock Knock start using like arrows? And I've always seen it as like there's this moment in his life where he was so fearful of like not completing the academy, of not being not fitting in, and there's this moment where one of his friends, his friend Clado, said to him, you know, the reason you can't make any of these distances is because your fear distance is 0. And that means he has to be both bow and arrow.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when he started like wielding the 2 arrows.
Yeah, you just had to close the distance.
Yeah. So what ends up happening is like he looks at this new piece of him, and it means that he no longer has to be a fear distance away, and that scares him because he's not good at that.
Yeah, totally. Okay. Well, she hands both over and she closes the box and hands it back. And she puts her hand to her chest, and all the other elves do as well. And she bows towards you. All of our hearts are with you. All of our minds have thoughts of you. And all of our souls shall guard you forever. You are one of us, Knock Knock. You are probably more one of us than any has ever been.
He like gets like a little misty because that's something that like he's definitely wanted to hear for like a long time. And he kind of like looks over at this, like he kind of knows that like she takes care of him, like she would always protect him.
She was tough on you in the beginning. She was not accepting this at all, but you broke her down, man, and now she loves you.
And he like looks over at like what his brothers are doing. What are they doing?
They're doing the exact same thing. They have all saluted, they have all bowed, and they are all continuing to hold the salute proudly. Yeah. They are all in for this. You for a while there, you were called an elven the outsider, and it wasn't necessarily a slur, but it kind of was. It felt separating, but now they view you as the one who can be both outside and inside, the only one who can stride both paths and therefore save all of them, and probably save much of the sword coast along with it.
So he bows, he says thank you, he says hopefully I'm worthy of this gift. Thank you.
You already have proven so. Good journey. And they all fade back into the woods. For mechanic purposes, they're both +1 weapons. The heavy arrow does 1d8 damage +1, and then whatever your strength bonus is on top of that. The thrown one does 1d6 +1, plus whatever your strength bonus is on top of that. And you can throw it 30 feet close range, 90 feet long range. And then it returns to your hand as a bonus action on the following round. So you could throw it, hit someone next round, use your bonus action to have it return, and use it again that round.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Cool.
All right.
Wait, what was the distance again?
30 feet for close range, 90 feet for long range. So anything over 30 feet up to 90 feet is rolled at disadvantage. Anything within 30 feet is rolled a standard.
Gotcha.
Okay. So you guys continue on. Anything you want to say to anyone after this, or?
I want to check on Knock Knock.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, sure, totally.
See how
Absolutely.
Yeah, exactly. I actually started tearing up, even though I don't understand Elvish, so I couldn't quite get it, but I kind of got it just like from the body language.
Yeah.
So when he walks away, he's still like soldier type. You know what I mean? Like
totally.
So like and he puts the new arrows like in his quiver with the other 2 arrows. So now he has 4.
How you doing, man?
I'm great. Those are my friends. We went to the academy together.
Was that your mom?
No, that wasn't. I mean, she was kind of. No, she's not my mom.
Oh, that was really nice.
Yeah, they got me these, and then he pulls them out.
Whoa!
He's just like, like I just feel like they're a part of me. It's like an extension of me, you know? And I want to try out well, I guess I can't try out both of them. Like, I only try one.
There's no dragon here, so you can't. I mean, it still does damage, but
I just want to kind of like spin the one with the. It's like what is it, a hook? I'm picturing like a hook on the. It's a fang, right?
So it's a dragon's fang that's been like, but it's a straight fang.
Oh, okay.
And then it's like recessed into the thing, so the metal kind of forms around it, and then lattices, and then it's also wrapped in like heavy silver twine, which is actually spider's silk.
Awesome. So I guess I want to twirl it like a drumstick, like in my hand, like that.
Yeah.
Totally. Well, that one is super heavy and off-weighted, but the other one is so light and
Like,
so
yeah.
perfectly balanced that you could like easily manipulate it.
Yeah. So that's what I want to do.
Totally.
I'm actually, oh my God, I'm actually picturing.
I would like you to roll a dexterity
Yeah,
check.
I was about to say. I'm thinking of what's his name, Yando from.
That's what I was thinking.
That's what I was
From
thinking.
Guardians of the Galaxy.
I was thinking, that actually makes a lot of sense.
Okay. What is this?
Dexterity. So just roll a straight dex.
Yeah. 14.
Yeah, absolutely.
got it.
You like maybe around the thumb it slows a little bit.
No Keith Moon,
but it looks good. Yeah. All right, so you guys continue on, or do you want to say anything?
Just like coming up to him, it's like, I don't understand Elvish, but I've seen that kind of interaction. Are you gonna be okay?
Yeah, this is probably the highest honor that like an elf can get. It's a present. He's just like twirling it in his hand, like staring at it.
I'm sure you're worthy.
Yeah, and I don't say anything to him, but I feel more comfortable because I've never seen Knock Knock in his like soldier type thing. So like I start to feel like, okay, like I feel like we can actually do this if we really get into a kind of hairy kind of situation. So like I just look at him, kind of nod.
Totally. Your main fighter got I can't.
Yeah. Ren walks up to him and just like hugs him like this.
He doesn't hug back. He keeps his arms like that, but he does kind of like go like he goes a little limp like that. Yeah. And then it's back in because also like there's other brothers walking away.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
No, I get it.
I want to hug you guys.
Toxic masculinity.
Just piles in. Chips is on top.
Yeah.
And it's funny you mentioned that because like they were mainly looking at you, but a couple of them did steal glances towards Rin, and when they did, they were not favorable. Like they clearly disapprove of this gold-drenched elf over here.
That's fabulous.
And I think I got that sense too. I think they would see him like a bad influence.
Yeah, totally, 100%.
Like
100%.
Me hanging out
Watch
with,
out for this one.
Hanging out with like the goth kids at school.
If instead of black they were drenched in gold. Exactly.
Goth kids.
God, the goth kids would be so much more interesting if they were drenched in gold.
Golden goth kids.
Sorry.
Someone's got to draw that.
Golden goth kids.
Like goth kids drenched in gold. Just like wearing like Taking Back My Jewels Day, like t-shirt, like real emo.
Yeah, perfect. All right, so as you guys are traveling and walking and talking and getting to know a little bit more about your companion Knock Knock, there is a bright red flare that fires across the sky far down the high road, and Roland sees that and turns to you and says, "Keep walking, stay on the high road. I'm scouting ahead," and takes off and quickly vanishes over the hill.
Well, that was something.
Can I roll history if I know what that?
Yeah,
that
sure,
is,
absolutely.
or- Ooh, natural 20.
Wow.
Yes. So the scouts of Waterdeep have like these arrows that have like this dust that will come out the back. That's like really, really super fine powder that's heavily dyed with ink. And when they fire them into the air kind of like goes through with these little holes and whistles out the back and drags a column of the dust along with it. Right. And so you're seeing that cast over the sky, like this kind of trail of red, fire smoke. Right. And that is to alert people that there's something wrong, like there's something eminently wrong here, and everyone. So that's why he just went charging on ahead.
Gotcha. Guys, this means there's something wrong here.
Should we go get him?
Go
Chase
get.
him?
I don't know exactly where it would be, where it's at, what's happening, but everyone just be ready, okay?
Okay, I'm gonna make traps.
As soon as you say that, there is a scream from you. I assume you have the book in your backpack.
Oh.
There is this loud scream, and then what sounds like a woman being strangled, and then silence.
What was that?
Police!
It wasn't me. It was the book. I pull out the book. It's like,
You pull it out, and suddenly, as soon as you pull it out, you see that there's a bookmark in it that wasn't in it before.
huh. Well, I guess we find our first mark. And so I open it. It's like, woman screaming. That fits what we just heard.
So when opened,
Yeah.
it shows a page that appears to be written in a light gray ink, much fainter than the other pages. Even the portrait looks like it is faded or perhaps just been drawn, but it's not actually faded. Like it's in silver ink, but it's made to look incredibly light, right? Like it's not quite set in. Yeah, then you also see a location that indicates a small cabin just off the high road, maybe 20 minutes into the woods.
So who wants to go in the woods?
Yeah, your book is so scary.
Can we just like
Well, it came from a demon. What do you expect?
I'll go in the woods with you.
Yeah, I'll go too.
Yeah.
All right. So
It's a clear path. Like you can see a cabin at the end of it.
Is that around the area where the
cabin
flare
in the
came?
woods.
No. This is way down. This is like literally like the flare went off. He took off. The book went off, and it's just you just literally as it goes off, you're stepping up and seeing the road off to the right, and you can see the cabin.
Okay, so I'm gonna go with Celeste to the woods, but I'm gonna leave a note for Roland
Okay.
that says like BRB.
Screaming book led us to cabin.
Scary book.
BRB, scary book, arrow pointing towards the cabin.
Yeah.
So if I stay at the wagon and stuff, I can still see the cabin.
Correct, exactly.
So like I want to stay and guard our stuff.
Who
but I
else
can
wants to
still
stay with
see
the
I'm
wagon?
gonna go to the
You're gonna go
cabin
with
too.
them?
All right, I'm staying.
Okay, so you two are staying. The
Me
rest
and
of you
Perrin?
are
Oh my
going.
God.
Yeah.
I'll go to the cabin. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, excellent. So you guys walk up, and it's it's a small, relatively well maintained cabin. There's no decorations on the outside. There's clearly a small patch of vegetables, mainly root vegetables in the back. There's also some spices growing and tied along like wooden poles, right? And there's like a cow in the back, and maybe like a couple donkeys.
All right. So are there any candles burning that are giving light?
Well, it's morning, so you
Okay.
really can't tell. Yeah, but all the shutters are drawn.
Oh.
Cool. I want to be stealth.
Yeah, I want to
Stealthy.
sneak
Okay.
towards that house.
I was just
Okay,
going to go knock
so
on the door.
You still can.
You just have a screaming book. Can we go in? My book's screaming right now.
My book needs to just relax a little bit.
My book led me here.
So what are you actually doing then?
I want to like take a formation around the house. So if this is
Yeah.
the house and this is the front,
Sure.
I want to go in the opposite direction, go around the house.
So you want to go around to the right.
And I want to go around to the left.
You're going around to the left, and the two of you are just going to the
Yeah,
front door.
yeah.
Okay, so he like gives you a bunch of hand signals that you don't really understand, which is
Yeah.
the gist of it, right? And then they start circling around to the back. What are you two doing?
I have like my crossbow, and I'm like with Celeste, just in case, because you never know
Don't
what's
shoot
around.
me with your crossbow.
It's okay. You gotta look out. You never know what's gonna come out.
All right, so you're going to knock on the door with a crossbow pointed at it.
I just go.
Yeah, nice. Right.
You should knock on the door with the crossbow.
What
So
do you do?
I knock. Is anyone home?
Right, dum, 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 dum. And who's there?
A paladin of Tyr.
I'm shuffling. Like a man cracks open a door. You can just see a crack in his eye. And he's like, "What business?" And as he says that, I want stealth rolls from both of you.
Like crap. I can't say screaming book led me here.
20.
Nice.
Also,
Yeah.
as soon as she knocked and he said, "Who's there?" Knock, knock, I go. You're like hurrying up real fast.
I have 22.
Oh, you guys. So they just like,
Yeah.
and just like vanish around the sides. You both are kind of up against it, sliding around. You both get to a window.
Yeah.
Okay. And it's just one open room in the middle. And there's like a back place where they're sleeping that's kind of cordoned off by like hanging sheets, but just one big open room. And you see a man at the door who looks like the picture, but older. And you see a boy, maybe 14 or 15, who looks like the picture, but younger.
Oh no.
What business you have here?
We're on our way to Waterdeep, and
Wait, I'm sorry. The boy looks like he's younger than the picture. Sorry, go ahead.
we're on our way to Waterdeep, and I was compelled to come check here. I said I'm a paladin of Tyr. You know what that means, correct?
I do. And he opens the door. Just me and my boy.
Right. I'm not trying to hassle you, sir, but
No hassle. Paladin of Tears, welcome at my doorstep. Come inside.
I bow. My companion who I look at and make sure he's put away his crossbow. My companion and I just wanted to check, and if there's anything we can do for you, say a good word to Tyr.
Always welcome the blessings of paladins. And you kind of look over, and his boy is there on the floor, and he's got he's got like paper and charcoal, and he just keeps like drawing. He hasn't even looked up at you. He just drawing and drawing and drawing.
Can I walk up to the boy just to like see what's going on with him? And
Sure.
just like say, so Rin's like walking up to him. It's like, hey little guy, how's it going?
Completely ignores you, and he's just like drawing like one like open gaping mouth after the next with teeth and fat, and it's just like and horrible eyes, and just over and over again. Boom, next, and then boom, right on to the next one, completely ignoring you. While you guys are outside watching this, you look down, right, and like underneath the house, you like there's a tail coming out, and you look down, and there's like 2 decapitated cats that have been shoved underneath. Yeah.
I don't.
So
Carlos personally doesn't know how to react to that.
Like all of us are like,
when you were like, oh, you look down, I was like, probably a human head. I'm
Yeah,
like, whatever. When you said cat, I was like, oh, that's nasty.
and it's sad. Is there? So it's under the house.
Yeah,
Like,
so like the log cabin is like set on like a bunch of stones to lift it up so that if water runs under, it doesn't run straight under, because it's just a dirt floor with wood, so it's just wooden planks that are kind of held off the floor so they don't rot.
So there's not like an under of the house. It's
I mean, you could crawl underneath that space, but it wouldn't be pleasant.
So I picture it like both of us on like our own separate windows like that. And there's like steps like right there, and there's like cats like in between us, and we're pretty close. Yeah. And like I look down, I'm like,
yeah.
And I kick it a little bit to her. I'm like,
I kick it back. I don't want it. And I look towards the window. Is there a latch, or how does the window work?
So it's just shutters that have been closed. So it's wooden shutters that have been shut on the inside, and there's clearly like a bolt or something on the inside as well.
So I couldn't like.
You could absolutely try. You could like get like a little edge or something in there and try and flick it open. Sure. Yeah. Roll me sleight of hand.
10.
Okay, so you're working on it. You see her do that. What do you do?
I was really trying to get away from him and his cats.
No,
so
I totally understand.
yeah. Knock Knock's just like, what are you doing? Like it would be. Yeah. He can be stealthy. He's a soldier. He doesn't do anything without orders. You know what I mean? He's there to protect. Like, there's no danger right now.
So why are you introducing another thing?
It's a little boy. Yep. Like, I know we're both creeped out about this cat right now. But like, also like, what are you doing?
The book said that there was a thing. There's probably a murderer in this house. It's probably the little boy.
What?
Yeah.
Waiting for Celise. Let's just wait for Celise,
As you say that, jump back over.
So can I Ren's gonna start walking backwards, like, because he's like really creeped out.
Yeah, the boy is creepy. Super creepy.
Like, there's something not right with that boy.
You know that he can hear you.
Oh. This boy is really nice. And he like tries to like play it off like that.
I mean, it's probably a gimme, but can I do a detect evil?
He doesn't talk much. He never really has. Could offer you some food, and he waves towards a table where there's like some bread and like a particularly unappetizing looking cheese, some grapes. No, there wouldn't be grapes. He's lucky if he has apples. So like some apples.
He's very lucky.
He's got
apples.
Yeah.
Aaron's really happy he's not on this trip now.
There's nothing there for you whatsoever.
So Celise accepts that, and as she walks by, she looks at the paper. It's like, would she recognize the things that this boy is drawing?
Yeah, I mean, in addition to like drawing mouths over and over again, there is the occasional like drawing of someone hanging.
This boy, man, I'm telling you.
May I ask a question, sir?
Sure, ask away.
Where's the boy's mother?
She's passed.
I'm sorry to hear that.
I'm sorry.
Did he talk when she was still here?
Our caravan was attacked a couple of years ago when we still used to travel and trade, and it was pretty brutal.
I'm sorry.
The boy was young, but he witnessed all of it.
Oh, poor boy.
We're just trying to get by here. We'd take any blessings you have to offer.
I will, before we leave, depending on what happens, I will give him some money. I was like, The things that he's drawing, are you not concerned about that?
I'm just happy if the boy's awake and if the boy's out of bed. He was comatose for a long time. This is better, but not great.
What would happen if I tried to heal him?
Oh, you can try. You can certainly try.
Or detect evil?
Which one do you want to do?
Detect evil.
Detect evil pings.
Yeah, there's definitely an order of the operations on that.
It's super strong. It's not like, a gray, terrible evil like you experienced before, but it definitely pings. It's soft and hollow, but it pings.
I know we just met, but there's something about your child. I don't want to pry against her because you've been very kind.
I appreciate that.
But was it a human that attacked your caravan?
It was bandits. Particularly nasty ones. He
Because
pulls up his pant leg and he's got like just a horrible scar where there was clearly an arrow in him. Oof. Yeah.
Because I just kind of hold in my hand going, there's something malicious here.
I'm doing the best I can.
No,
I don't know what you want me to do.
May I attempt healing?
Of course. Oh, yes, please. And he just looks incredibly like the whole time he's been kind of down, but like he gets a little excited and he steps back. What do you want to do?
Well, is it too late to really do anything with his leg?
Yeah, the legs as is. I mean, unless you did restoration.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah.
No.
I don't know him that well.
He's fine.
Player knowledge does not have that yet.
Right, yeah, exactly.
So I'm just gonna go sit, like kneel by the boy and just kind of like hold my hands out. I'm not gonna touch him because I don't know.
Yeah, sure.
It's like I'm gonna try to lay hands on and see can I do any kind of healing, any kind of dispersing this maliciousness that I feel.
So you're kind of like he just keeps drawing. You kind of lower yourself and you start to lay hands on him, right? He's drawing and drawing, and all of a sudden, boom! His eyes flare to yours, and he grabs your wrists, and like you guys are connected for a moment. And you can see 10 years in the future where he's a man looking exactly like the picture in that book, and you can see his arms around your throat, and you can feel him choking, and then boom! You guys are back out of it, and he glares at you, and he goes back to drawing.
Can I run up to her and just like make sure like what's going on? Like
Sure.
Like grab the kid. Like, what are you doing?
And he's like, and then the father walks in. He's like, Jeremy, go back. And Jeremy runs back and like gets behind the curtain. I'm sorry. Perhaps it's best if you all leave.
Are you okay?
No, because he's a boy, but what he will grow up to do is very wrong.
What did you see?
I look at the father and I keep looking at Rin going, sir, your son has been affected deeply by what he witnessed.
I have no doubt. And I'm doing the best I can. I'll bring him to Temple more. I'll do what I can. I thank you for your efforts.
I think you need to keep a very careful eye on him and maybe move back to town.
This is all we can afford. Moving isn't an option. I barely get by as is and get food on the table. This is all I got in life.
So Celise, is doing okay. So she reaches in and gives him 3 gold.
That's a huge amount. That's like 1/3 of a cow. That is a really good deal. And he's very thankful. And he then turns to you, and as he takes the gold, he holds your hand for a moment, and he was like, if you really want to help, come back. Come back and talk to the boy again. Pray with him again. Bring the divinity of your God down upon him and help him, show him the path.
He's going to need it in not very long. He's going to come to a bad end, so you need to take care of him.
Would you talk to the church in Waterdeep?
Of course.
Thank you then. Thank you. That would do a great help. I've been petitioning them with no answer.
Of course. What is your name, good sir?
Yeah, shoot. Actually, no.
Jake Jackerson.
John. The teenage boy is named Zoo, Z-U-H, and the father is named Naral.
Like a narwhal?
Yeah, sure. But NOROL.
But fancier.
So are we like about to walk out?
Yeah.
Okay, so Ren like after hearing the story is like feeling like really like kind of emotional because like he's lived his whole life like by himself. He like reaches his pocket and he's like, for what it's worth, I don't really do this, but here's some gold.
How much do you give him?
What?
3? Can I give 3 as well? Just to like
wow.
Because he's just
2/3 of the way to a new cow. No, he's incredibly thankful. It's like, thank you so very much. And anytime you all pass here, you both are welcome in my home. And as you guys close the door, the kid's head snaps up again. And he just glares until the door is completely shut.
We need to come back and visit this child.
Yeah.
So
So you guys hear them walk out onto the porch.
So what you see when you walk out is, so Ash is trying to still unlock the window because she doesn't know that you guys are, and Chips, because like they're linked, like Chips thinks that he knows how to unlock the window too. So Chips is on Ash's head, like with his paws, like trying to touch the window, and I'm trying with like my fingers trying to unlock it, like climbing into it as much as I can.
Fortunately, it's a big wooden thing, so they can't see you.
No.
What do you guys?
So now we're walking out like and you can see them.
Yeah, you guys heard them walk out onto the porch.
Yeah. Oh, and then so then I stop and rest my hand out the window. Oh, hey guys.
What were you doing?
Nothing illegal.
We saw some scary stuff in there.
What'd you see?
Let's go back to the road.
All right.
Okay.
So you all gather back up. It's only a couple minutes walk back out to the road. You two are there, just chatting, having second breakfast.
Yes,
Yeah, we're
Shaka,
definitely eating. Absolutely.
Shaka, I told you. I says, look at that cabin in the woods.
Good night, folks. This was Rivals of Waterdeep.
As soon as you guys get back to the wagon and start to greet each other, you can hear the galloping, and he comes cresting over the hill, just perfectly on time.
Roland?
Yeah.
Dope.
There was nothing.
What?
There
Like
was
not at
nothing?
all?
There was nothing. I don't know. A couple of the soldiers responded too. We don't know if it's a prank or if someone fired. Where there are others looking, but as far as we can tell, nothing.
Okay, can I roll? What would I roll to figure out if he's lying or not?
Roll insight or
Insight?
perception. Yeah.
Okay. I'm
No,
gonna
not
roll-
perception. What do you roll? Insight. Insight.
Okay. All right, so I got a 10.
Yeah, I mean, he seems to be very straightforward. He doesn't really fluctuate much. This guy's a pretty by the books soldier, and he seems to just be reporting the facts.
All right, sweet.
All right, you guys continue on.
Yeah, Selisa's just kind of still creeped out. Like,
Your faith has been continuously tested for like days in a row. Yeah. Okay.
Selisa's like, I need some prayer.
Yeah, right.
No, I do want to ask them like anything that me and PU need to know about, guys. Went on in the
Just
We saw some really scary stuff. We saw some really scary stuff inside. There was a man and his son, and the boy was just drawing like all these crazy things, and he grabbed Celise like by her throat, and
The boy did that?
Yeah.
Well, you didn't see that.
Oh, I didn't see that.
No, that happened in her
I
mind.
didn't see like
Yeah,
okay,
exactly.
okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, you just saw the boy grab her hands.
Okay. All right. You have to tell him what happened.
So the book, the picture we saw,
Yeah.
it's the boy that lives there. It hasn't happened yet. So it was warning us.
Oh, that boy's gonna grow up to be a bad person?
Yes. He witnessed his mother's murder,
Oh, yeah.
and he's not okay. But we gave him gold, and Ren, I'm really proud of you.
Wait, Rin gave gold?
Hold on.
Ren gave gold.
What type of evil child is
It was hard because this child is clearly affected by what happened, and this man is struggling alone. So we each gave him a little gold so he can at least get better food, get help from the city. When we get there, I need to check in the temple about them.
Okay, cool.
All right. You guys continue on.
Before we leave,
Yeah.
I want to take the end of my arrow and kind of mark a symbol of the elven archers that I trained with, so they know that this is a safe place and to watch over that area.
100%.
Oh,
Absolutely. And they would know that Immediately. Perfect. All right. You know what? Take inspiration. You guys continue on, and it's quiet for the rest of the trip. Traffic is definitely getting more busy now, and there's several wagons coming this way from the road. And there's also several scouts. There's teams of scouts now that are coming south. And every time they come up to him and he gives them a quick briefing and they nod and they continue on, because clearly the word's gotten out from the first guy who ran back at full speed. Right. So as you are traveling, the Zun Bridge comes into view. There's a wide river, the Dasarian River, that is deep and cold and fast. That is the main barrier between the south and Waterdeep. And there's this thick, blocky stone bridge that has a keep off the side of it. And what they will do is that there's a garrison there at all times, but they will also, in times of trouble, lock down the bridge, have everyone go into the keep, be thoroughly inspected, and then come back out. And that's definitely what they're doing now. And as it comes into view, you all hear a loud screech, like a screech roar, right? Like a screech that falls into a roar.
Oh, cool.
And then whoom, this griffin soars overhead, maybe 30 feet tall with a rider on it. Clearly a Waterdeep scout as well. And it just does a lazy circle over you and then soars back towards the bridge.
Whoa.
Wow. Do you think they have classes?
And Roland would turn to you and say, there are 3 such creatures stationed at this bridge. They use them for reconnaissance. They will alert them that we are coming. And he had saluted the soldier, and the soldier had saluted back. So it was a good exchange. So you guys just continue to the bridge. Yeah. There's lines of wagons lined up. So as you're coming, you're now about 400 feet from the beginning of the bridge. By the time you hit the line, there's maybe 4 or 5 dozen wagons, and then just people lined up in a long line. People have clearly been here for a while. As you pull up, you see several horses leave the main garrison, and as they're running down the bridge towards you, there's like pairs of guards that are stationed all the way along the bridge. And as they run back, they just kind of do a hand movement, and those guards break off, and those guards break off, and those guards break off. To the time they get you, there's like 4 people on horseback and a dozen heavily armored soldiers
that are coming to get us.
Well, they're coming towards you.
This is like a checkpoint. Sorry.
Yeah. So
yeah. Okay.
It's a large bridge that's also fortified.
Gotcha.
It's the only way across this river. So they keep it. They keep it guarded at all times, and now it's under heavy lockdown because they got word from what's happening down south.
Okay. So I'm gonna ask Roland. Roland, is there anything we should be concerned about?
And Roland has like straightened himself up, and he's kind of like gotten to the front. He's clearly presenting, and he's like, "Stand where you are. Keep your hands visible. Do not touch your weapons."
So I do that. I stand where I am and I do this.
And he just kind of looks and he's like, no, not necessary. Just relax.
I pictured Chips on his hind legs. Like
doing the thing, yeah. We're both trying. Like,
Trying to balance at the same time.
Yeah, so someone just says, just relax. So she's trying to relax, but it's like that like exaggerated, like I don't know how to relax, but I'm trying really, really hard. So it's like, it's kind of an anxious, like.
Celeste just pats her on the shoulder. It's okay.
So they come galloping, and they're kind of galloping slowly to let the soldiers keep up. And they gallop up. The soldiers form a ring all around you. They've all got halberds, but they're not pointing them at you. They just got them at the ready. And 2 would look like paladins dismount. And actually, hang on, you would know them. So they are paladins of. They're not Tyr. I've lost it. Okay, well, they are paladins. Let's say paladins of the dawn. So they walk towards you and they nod to acknowledge you. We have heard much about your journey. Please stand to be identified.
So I stand up straight.
And they both, like one walks behind, like you guys are in a line, right? One steps to the front, one steps to the back. And they start walking down the line. They both put their hands up, and they just keep moving, right? They keep moving. Go to you. Go to you. Go to the mayor and Melanie. Straightens up, kind of, right? And she's ready. Goes to you. Goes to you. and then they get to you.
Watch the robes.
And their eyes go wide. And both of them take a step back and go to their swords. This one. Remove your hat, sir.
Take it off.
And they see the horns, and then boom, all these halberds come up, right?
What is the problem here?
The touch of the demonic is upon you, and the paladins take a step back, and a woman dismounts from the horse, and she's younger, and she's dressed in long black robes and carries a black staff, and she has a copper coin held between her fingers, and she walks up to you. Will you allow me to search your thoughts?
If you give me can you give me a reason as to why you are...
So that we can be sure you are not in line with the demon.
Okay, so I know tieflings are always stereotyped in this way, but I'm with a crew that can vouch for me.
Hold on. I'm traveling with him.
And all of you could have been misled.
No.
This is the Prince of Demons and the Prince of Lies, and we must make sure.
If you're going to search his thoughts, you have to search all our thoughts.
Hold
and
on.
puff up.
Very
Ash.
well. But we will start with him.
This is a violation. We
It
just
is-
finished fighting.
This is unjust.
I appreciate both of those concerns, and I apologize in advance if it is. But it is also necessary. And if you wish to pass, we must do this.
Shaka, if you don't want to do this, Perrin Underbow can take care of this for everyone.
Don't get it. Don't get it.
Anyone whose thoughts need to be searched.
The odds are really not in your favor here, my friend.
And Celeste just gives him a look like, don't even think about it.
Very well.
I want to roll an insight on the soldiers that are around us right now to see. I want to get a sense on like how they're feeling right now. They see tons of people all day long.
Absolutely.
Like I want to see how they're reacting to this. Ooh, nat 20.
That's why they are tense.
Oh.
You can see, even through the tiny slits in their metal helms, you can see their eyes darting about, looking for confirmation from each other, waiting for something to step off.
Okay.
Can I roll charisma to try to convince?
Sure.
Let's try it. Why not?
Nat 20.
Okay. So she for a second puts it down, and she looks at you and she says, I understand. I recognize this is a violation. I recognize that your people and your kind are pigeonholed and are pegged with this frequently. And I have known, and she kind of looks off to the right, I have known your kind, and they have been most kind to me. I assure you, this will not harm you. And if you speak truth, we will be done momentarily. But it is my duty, and I must do it.
Man, 20 can't do it.
She's convinced. She's fully convinced, but she can't break her orders. There's nothing she can do. She's just boxed in here.
Celeste is going to come over and stand next to Shaka just in case.
Sure, of course. Totally.
Like,
Yeah.
I've given you my word and I'm going to watch you.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I got to go through it. So, okay.
So she nods and she places the fingertips on your chest that are holding the coin, and you just feel like her, like you feel tendrils in your mind as she begins to snake her way into your thoughts, and thoughts are flashing in your mind. And then all of a sudden you realize that she's going to figure out about your patron. So you're like, oh, and you like try and rush a thought to your surface. So roll me a wisdom save.
Oh, I want to know what this thought is.
Yeah.
16.
What strong memory that is either painful or joyous do you throw to the front to keep her busy?
Okay, so I throw the memory of when I first received my white robes. Okay, because I grew up sort of like wearing very tattered clothing, and this was the first time that I actually had something that I felt was, you know, kind of worthy of what I felt my status in the world is. Awesome. So she goes through that event, and again, you like she's clearly moved by it, and it does keep her busy for a moment, and you can kind of like, you feel like you're inside yourself looking out at her, and then all of a sudden, everyone's gone.
you're just standing alone in the middle of the high road. Everything has vanished before you.
What? Where is everyone?
You look up and there is a bubble above you, the same dome like you saw before, but far smaller, maybe 500 feet in every direction, and it's lowering and forms around you. And as you turn, there is this large, long, intricate dining table before you with seating, with like place settings for 12, even though there's only one high back chair nearest to you, but there's fine food spread all around it. And at the far end, a pedestal and an ornate glass bowl with a gold lattice rim holding a single large goldfish.
Oh, this is a trick. What did that woman do to me?
Won't you join me? You can hear the
Who's
voice
there?
radiating in your head, and you just know it's the fish, but it also feels incredibly familiar, and you know this is your patron speaking to you.
Oh my God. Oh, okay. So like I immediately kind of bow. I'm sorry to have disturbed you. Oh, our great one. What have you called me for?
Disturbed me. I am defending myself, protecting the thoughts of me that are in your mind. And he points up, and like on the edge of the shimmering bubble, you can see her, you know, like touching you, and you can see your thoughts that he's generating to keep her busy over and over, sweet. And just keeping her off this area, completely protecting this part of your mind from her seeing into it.
Nice.
Well, I can't have them knowing about our little bargain, can we? My servants are no good when their throats are cut. And you see a couple bubbles pop out of the goldfish's mouth.
Oh, well, thank you so much, patron. This is one reason why I chose to serve you, because I heard tales that you protect your servants during times of duress. So thank you so much. Is there anything I could do to make you feel more comfortable? Maybe refill your bowl?
There is one thing you could do. And he jumps into the air. Well, the goldfish leaps into the air and splashes back down. And this torrent of water, far too large for the bowl, far too large of a splash for the goldfish to have made, like a wave, crashes down on you, and your eyes burn. It's this searing, horrible pain. You drop to your knees and you push yourself up, and there's a puddle right in front of you, and you can see that your eyes are now this dark gray, and they're like smoldering coals for a minute as they fade into this like just dark gray ash. And then there's total darkness all around you, and you realize you can still see in complete and total darkness. And then you're back out of it, and the wizard is removing her fingers from your chest, looks completely exhausted, and nods to the rest of them. What he says is true. There are no lies hid. They are noble. And they all kind of nod, and the soldiers, like, you know, go back, and they wave you on through, and they have an escort right down the bridge to take you straight to Waterdeep.
Okay, but as we're going, I'm still like yelling back at this person, like, you shouldn't need to do that to like a tiefling.
Yeah. She listens and she nods, and she raises a hand and, you know, goes back to her duty.
Knock is like also following them as they're walking, but like the soldiers, he's like,
Yeah, Ash is like this.
do something.
You know, little Chips is walking down like.
And so Lisa's she makes a very rude hand gesture, which means the curse of tear.
No, fair. No, they screwed with you guys. It's fair. Yeah.
No, I appreciate you guys for all having my back. Unfortunately, you know, growing up as a tiefling, I'm kind of used to this, but I thought that it would be over, you know, when I'm with the crew and we're fighting and we're doing good. But unfortunately, you know, this might still happen. So, you know, I just want to apologize in advance if it's going to, you know, burden us all as a team to have me. And I understand if you guys might want me to go off on my own. I've been on my own for a while.
Honestly,
but
you are not in charge of other people's perceptions, shitty perceptions of you. We like you. And we're your friends, and they don't matter. You matter. So whatever. You're on our crew. Dynamic duo, right? Or what was it like? triple.
Yeah, it was like triple threesome.
I don't think it was that. I think it was the Triforce.
Triforce sounds just a tad better. Yes, all right. Excellent. Is there anything else you guys are doing during this last leg of your journey to the city?
I ask where the temple is.
Inside the city? So it'd be the Hall of Justice, where yours is anyway. Is there another temple you'd want to go to?
Well, the one that the gentleman wanted.
That's what he was trying for, because that would be their most powerful priests and their the most knowledge and ability to and finances, frankly, to be able to extend themselves to something like this.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Excellent. So you guys are heading in. By the time you get to Waterdeep, you are exhausted. The sun has set. There is, again, a huge backlog of people trying to get in because they've shut the main gates and they're separating people from their wagons, letting the people in through one door and taking the wagons around for, you guess, further inspection. Roland rides on ahead, talks to some soldiers, rides back, and then escorts you around the line until you get to the front. There are some soldiers there. They greet you. We'll need your wagon. It'll be safe. It'll be returned to you. We simply need to inspect it.
Wait,
We all just looked at
I ride in this.
We appreciate that. We will let you in through a side door. Your wagon will be, and he shows you on a little map where the stables are, where the royal stables are, where you can pick it up tomorrow morning. Here's your little chit.
Your tip will be considered when we come back for this valet.
This guy glares at you, glares down at you. All right, sir. And he hands you the little piece of paper.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Another guy jumps into the wagon. It's like Ferris Bueller's Day Off. He's I know the mileage on this wagon. And they're trying to put it in reverse.
Walk the horse backwards.
Walk the horse backwards.
All right, so you're led in through a side door, a different side door than the other ones. There's two guards outside of it. They nod and they knock and they open the door. You step into a room with more guards in it and a central stone column in the middle of this tower. One of the guards nods, puts his hand on this stone pillar and drags it to the right, and a door just appears and opens up, and there's a spiraling staircase down about 2 stories. And torches just...
Well, I guess we need to go that way.
You go first.
Well, okay.
Yeah,
all right.
and I follow suit. Yeah,
excellent. So you and Bear are just proudly marching.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah.
All right. So you guys are escorted down. There's 2 more guards at the bottom in front of one more door. They knock, a different knock. There's a from inside and a woman's voice, "Enter." And the door swings open.
Yeah, just walk right in, I guess.
Yeah. Does this feel very specific to us only, right?
Yeah. There's no way they did this for everyone. This door wasn't open for anyone else. You were the first people this door is open for, so it's definitely just you guys.
Okay, that makes sense because I was is this just how people get into Waterdeep?
4-month backup, man. So here's a personal interview with every person.
Yeah.
No. So inside is a stone room, 40 feet on all sides, rung with copper lanterns and bookshelves. In the middle of the opposite wall are a series of maps. The largest are of Waterdeep, the Sword Coast, and one that depicts the entirety of Faerun. Below the Waterdeep map are 3 smaller maps that appear to show areas beneath the city. I'd have you all roll an intelligence check and tell me who gets above 12.
Woohoo.
Whoever got above 12,
18.
you recognize that these look unfinished.
Okay.
That there's parts that appear to be missing, it doesn't really connect up, and clearly this is what they know of now. But there's a very intricate series of mazes and tombs and systems, and there's a whole town beneath Waterdeep. And you all have heard of this. There's always been rumors about this, but it's all kind of laid out in piecemeal, right? And then and this is all just painted onto the wall. So it's this ivory marble that's been painted with these maps, and there's tiny little peg holes everywhere in it. And in several of these holes in the map have been placed a red, little dowel, or a little piece of wood that's been painted red, or one's green, or one's blue, or one's white, or one's gray. And they're just all marked all over all the maps. In the middle of the room is a woman standing before 7 empty chairs. She's human, 6 feet tall, with straight silver hair cut in a bob that just brushes the top of her mithril pauldrons. A large sword rests on the table behind her, glowing pale with a blue light. You immediately recognize her as L'Oreal Silverhand. She is the open lord of Waterdeep. Waterdeep has a Lord's Council. All the lords are anonymous. They wear masks at every meeting. No one knows who they are. 1, to protect them, frankly, from each other. And 2, because they can't be bought. If no one knows who to bribe, you can't buy them off. So, but one of them serves as the open lord because someone has to be the face of the city. And that's who's standing before you right now. It's like if you guys were on the edge of Chicago and the cops escorted you in and they went to a basement super office and all of a sudden Rahm Emanuel's standing there before you.
Nah, I'm good.
Yeah.
Turn around.
Wow.
You know her as a fair and just ruler. Her reputation precedes her. Yeah. No.
So I greet her,
Greetings. And she gestures to the 7 seats, 1 for all of you and 1 for the mayor.
All right.
It's all right.
I take a seat.
Excellent.
I take a
I
seat.
don't know what you guys are waiting for.
Yeah, I take a seat, and Chips is in my lap, and he looks at one of the seats like, man.
It's like, hey, I deserve my own. Like a
but
little,
he's just in my lap. Yeah.
We need to know what has happened, and we wish to know it from your lips.
Who wants to start?
I'll kind of give her the backstory of what's happened and explain our unfortunate encounter with the young lord who blamed us for his brother's death.
Oh, so you just tell him everything.
Well, to a degree.
Right. Everything that the soldier would have witnessed. Right?
Yes.
Yeah. Right. Gotcha.
I'm not telling everything.
No.
I may be
got
a
this evil
paladin.
book and blah,
Yeah.
blah, blah.
No,
It screams a lot. I don't know.
I'm just sitting there kind of like going, please don't scream. Please.
Right. Also, interesting that when those 2 clerics passed by you, or when those 2 paladins passed by you, the book didn't ping. You know it's evil. You know it radiates strong evil, and they didn't detect it.
So I'm kind of like, what am I carrying?
Mm-hmm. All right. So she goes through the entire thing with you, and she nods. And she's like, this is quite troubling and has disturbed us in a very unfortunate time. I feel and know that there's a purpose for your being involved. I do not know what it is yet, but I shall instruct my people to stay out of your way. That means I also cannot help you. Any assistance I give will be well noted.
Well, there must be something you can leave us with that isn't really assistance.
Yes. Can we inspect your maps without your assistance? Technically, you wouldn't be helping.
Turns to the table behind her and pulls open a narrow drawer, and she retrieves paper versions of all the maps, and she hands them to you. These are most valuable and would be unfortunate in the wrong hands.
Well, luckily, these are not the wrong hands to have these maps.
This is what I hope.
It's what I can promise.
Is there anything else we can do?
Do you know Mert?
Mert the Moneylender.
Yeah, do you know like where he hangs out, like his favorite places? Like, does he have a restaurant or
Well, he has, of course, he mainly entertains in his home.
where's that?
And she would literally look at one of the maps and point right there.
Thanks.
All right.
While this is happening, Knock Knock is staring at his map and also like looking back at the map that they have like on the wall.
I would like you to roll a history check.
Oh, one.
Right.
I'm only rolling 20s and one.
I know. That's what I'm doing. It's it. You just like really trying hard. You can hear the gears turning, man, but you just can't put this picture together.
Man.
You're not connecting what's going on. Anyone else wanted to do that?
Yeah, I'll do it.
Yeah,
Sure.
I'll do it too. What?
Oh my God.
You and Rid are like, it's just a game, right? Yeah, we're just playing tic-tac-toe. That's all it is. Fancy map.
I got 16.
What is the modifier?
I can't get out of the
So,
maze.
as long as you beat a 16.
Oh yeah, I'm 18.
Okay.
16.
No,
So
I
you
didn't
guys
do
are kind of looking at it and you recognize a couple things. Like there's a gray peg right where the dome was in Nightstone. There's another gray peg like off on one of these islands of Cholts. Like you've heard of it, but you've never been there. But you start piecing things together and you think you got the map figured out. So everywhere where there's a red peg, a battle has been fought. Because you recognize where you can line up where some of these fights have happened. Orange is where a large fire has broken out. Yellow is where new wealth has cropped up. Because you heard rumors about this mine in Fandelvin. I'm probably saying that right. But you heard rumors about a great wealth being found there. And there's a yellow rod right in that. Green rods are clearly where the soldiers are set up. There's some blue ones where flooding has occurred. There's a white one. And you're not 100% sure what that is, but there's only one of them. And it's somewhere near Cormer, but you don't really know what that one is. There's a brown one that probably lines up with droughts. And then there's a black one where there's definitely lines up with plagues. Because there's also a black one in Cholt. You all have heard something about a plague or a wasting disease that's been happening there, but you're not really sure. Not a lot of word has gotten out about it yet. And that's what the pegs represent.
Cool.
Okay. I want to ask her, have you heard any rumors about dragons in or around Waterdeep?
And she kind of glances to you both. And she's like, I have heard of the Horde, if that's what you refer to. Somewhere, and she gestures to the maps behind you, somewhere down there is a great treasure and is rumored to be guarded by a dragon.
Okay. Can you mark it on the map or show us?
She doesn't know. She just knows.
They
just know that
okay.
somewhere in these catacombs, you know, and clearly they're working. There's a lot of pegs in the catacombs, so it seems like they're working on it, but she doesn't know.
Okay.
Are there where I'm from? There's different factions and cities. Is there a particular one that you like or dislike?
Most of them are not great. And she kind of smiles a little bit.
Yeah.
The Xanathar runs his own group, and she points to this underground city. Yeah. He has much influence. The Black Hand, is it the Black Hand? Ooh, let me make sure I got that right. It's the Black Hand or something like that. So anyways, there's another faction that's the Black Hand. All the lords have their own little games they play, and anyone with money has some skin in the game. There's like shifting factions all the time. It's a very complex city, but it's like New York.
That's,
you know what I mean? Yeah. You know, there's a mob. Right?
Yeah, that's what I wanted to suss out.
Yeah, absolutely. 100%.
Yeah. Are there any tiefling communities in Waterdeep?
Yeah, it's a big enough city, and any group that would be marginalized would definitely have their own places to hang out.
Okay, so I want to tell her about my experience at the border.
Yeah, and she listens, and she mentions a bar called the Rusty Nail, where you'll probably find a good number of your kind.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Anything else?
Can I roll investigation to see if there's anything on the table that we can?
Besides her sword, there's a couple books and like a quill and ink and some papers where she's clearly been writing. Otherwise than that,
there's nothing.
Yeah. It's pretty, like, she clearly keeps a neat Spartan thing. She likes order, you know, everything's lined up. Even the quill is perfectly perpendicular to her inkwell. You know what I mean? Like, she keeps a clean house.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Then she then she just kind of, like, you know, slaps her hand on the table. I probably should have done that with the mic.
That's all I was thinking.
Sorry, guys. Sorry. She slaps her hand on the table. The door swings open. The guards come back in. They escort you back up the stairs through the secret door and now around to the other side of the city. And you are let out in the south ward. The south ward extends from the south entrance of the city along the two main roads north through the heart of Waterdeep. Situated next to the port and at the place where many caravans come in, the ward is a hotbed for the production of storage goods as well as the care of caravans, which is where your caravan is being taken care of right now. It is the home of the proletariat and the folks just one rung up the ladder from them: innkeepers, stable owners, smithy owners, and so on. Many travelers reside in the South Ward, which is safer than the Dock Ward. And the South Ward has become it's like a melting pot. Like when you first come to the city, that's where you're usually going to end up.
So I want to go towards one of the innkeepers. And I want to go towards one of the inns and talk to an innkeeper.
Mel, do you want an inn? Because I've got an inn with an inn, says Melody.
Oh. Well,
I tell little jokes too.
that was actually a pretty good one.
I figured you'd appreciate it. I have a cousin who owes me a great deal.
You can take us to your cousin?
Follow me. And she seems a little more confident now that she's in the city. I mean, she got this little town and she's the mayor, but she likes being in a city. So she's walking a little straighter and looking at all the shops and just seems to be enjoying herself. So you guys walk for a little bit and you round a corner and there's a large 3-story brick building with a walled courtyard filled with many winding paths, wooden benches, and just bushels of rose bushes. A fountain in the center is carved in the shape of a jade rose, and water spills out from every petal into a low square basin around it. And it's very pleasant. There's like butterflies, which Chips is bounding after everywhere. You walk up to the front door, they're open, wide open. There's a relatively busy evening, but it's quiet. Like, this isn't a rowdy bar. This is a place for tea and conversation, right? And you are met. Her cousin is there, looks, not happy for a second, but brightens. Oh, of course, cousin, please. Show her to a room. And you are brought to a lovely suite with many individual rooms, 8 in total, so more than you actually need, facing a central lounge area. And there's fresh water and food and everything brought to you.
Ash was born in a small, a villagey type of thing. So this is the most luxurious and fanciest thing she's ever witnessed in her life. Yep. And people are offering her stuff, and she's usually really excited, but she's kind of reserved.
It's all too much.
And it's all overwhelming to her.
And it is tacky fancy.
Yeah.
So there's too many scrolls, there's too much gold, there's too much everything. There's 8 types of silks on the bed. Everything is way overdone to the point where it gets tacky, but it's still luxurious.
All the pillows say Jade Rose on it.
Everything's monogrammed. Absolutely. 100%.
Yeah. And Celisa's just kind of turning up her nose all of this pomp when there are people starving.
100%.
Knock Knock is taking cucumber sandwiches and smushing them all together. It's why do they make them so small? They could just have one big one. He's just crushing it. It's water
sandwich.
And he's just eating it. Yeah.
All right.
Ren is this is his area.
Yeah.
So it's just all fancy. He doesn't know that everybody's hey.
You've already got the slippers and bathroom.
Everybody. How's everyone doing?
It says JR on the back.
Which is a big rose. Yeah. All right. Melanie goes right to a writing desk and pulls out her book and begins writing. And then she turns to the host that escorted you up and says, I will need a messenger. I will need 3 messengers. And nods and goes back down. She begins writing. We will have an appointment, I would say, by tomorrow afternoon. I'm going to have to pull a lot of strings for this, but we'll get in. For the evening, I suppose you all should rest, or if you want to try and get some more information, there's places nearby for that as well. Yeah. Maybe you just need a drink. Who knows?
Celise wants a bath.
No, there's a bath. There's you can actually draw a bath in here.
Ooh.
Yeah,
I'm going to take a bath.
All right. What are the rest of you doing?
I'm gonna try to get some info because I'm still shaken up from the Kraken dreams.
Sure.
Yeah, same.
Where do you want to go?
I'm assume that this inn has a bar area.
Yeah.
Well, no, I mean, again, it's like a tea room, right? I mean, it's very
a tavern.
What's the equivalent of a tea bar, like a wine? The area with the teapots.
Yeah, I mean, totally. It's
there's some kind of social
fancy little tables, and all have little doilies, and everything is just so posh and pastels and white wrought iron.
All right, so it's individual tables, so I can't just go up to a table and be
no. You would sit at a table, and someone would come up to you.
Okay, all right. So yeah, I'm gonna.
Who's going with Shaka?
He's leaving. He's going to town.
He's clearly going downstairs.
Yeah, I'm gonna follow him.
Yeah, I'll go down there with my.
So you're gonna take a quick bath.
I'm gonna find the Hall of Justice.
All right, perfect. So we're gonna hold on that. You all go down upstairs and situate. It's really hard for you. These are not large, chairs, but you're kind of there. Try to be delicate, right? And there's 18 glasses and things laid out before you, and if you touch anything, you're afraid it's all gonna fall over.
Yeah. He's 5 forks.
I don't know which one's the fork you used to eat.
People just can't. We had one fork
We had one.
sometimes.
We shared it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hello.
He goes real quick.
Greetings. How may I help you? We have, and he goes and he starts to launch into his 17T list, but I'm assuming you interrupt him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would like tea number 4, please.
I anticipated that to happen. Have it right here. Starts pouring the tea. What can I assist you all with
Knock
today?
Knock is like listening to like all the tea like things, and he's like, he's never been in like a big city before. He's never had like so many things to choose from, and like it's too much, and he's just like, mix them all in one. Mix them all in one bowl and give me that.
Oh, you would like the special. And he turns and he rolls his eyes. And he pours you a
It's just
tea.
black.
Can I have your favorite tea?
And he pours again, and everyone's got tea.
Yeah, sorry. I'll take a simple tea, and also,
Yes.
I've heard of a place called the Rusty Nail. Are you familiar with
See the
this?
corners of his mouth turn down disapprovingly, but he quickly recovers. Yes, it is an establishment nearby. There are others, though. I mean, there is the Lucky Duck if you all feel like getting a good bet in, and if you'd like a fine pint of ale, there is Gildruff's Tavern. Oh, I do like her. So there are options, but if you must go to the Rusty Nail, yes, and he would lean down and like there's like a little napkin, and he would like quickly kind of sketch out like where you guys are, and all of them are within like a 15-minute walk. And by the time he's done with that, let's say you finished your bath and have come down to join them. And she looks great.
Yeah.
Glowing, so happy.
Sparkle.
Positively unbelievable.
Wow.
P.U.
It's a wonderful invention called soap.
Oh, I've heard of it.
So I've noticed.
It's okay.
So you got 3 options, it sounds like. Who wants to go where?
All right. Well, I think it's obvious. I'm going to the Rusty Nail. I gotta meet up with my teeths.
Yeah.
See what's going on.
Anyone want to go to the Rusty Nail with Shaka?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Shaka.
Yeah,
You and Shaka go in the Rusty Nail. Okay. So does anyone want to go to the Lucky Duck?
I want to go to the Lucky Duck.
Yeah, I had a feeling.
It sounds
Okay, I'll be sure somebody go with Rin.
Someone-
Can I keep the rope
I'll go
as
with Ren.
we're doing it?
Yeah, sure.
Okay,
Yeah.
Okay, so you two are going to
Yeah.
Lucky Duck, and then I imagine that leaves you two going to Gildorf's Tavern, right? So, sorry, you and you would be going to Gildorf's
Celise
Tavern.
and Knock Knock. Yeah.
Celise, sorry, probably for the podcast, right?
Yeah.
You and Celise and Celise and Knock Knock going to Gildorf's Tavern.
Yeah, I'd be.
Sure. And then
Yeah, let's do
tomorrow
that.
morning, I'll make sure I get to the Hall of Justice early.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so you guys, let's start with you all then because it's nearest. There's a tall building with a massive front door and soaring ceilings made of surprisingly large laid stones. Like it's all just piled stones, but they're way too big for one person or possibly even two people to have carried. Inside is a single bar surrounded by round wooden tables with booths ringing the walls. And Gildroff, which is a female cloud giant, stands behind the bar, towering over all the patrons. And she couldn't look happier to be where she is. There's other people working here as well, but she's clearly running the main bar. And she's got like all these little tools. Like she's got like a little stick that she lines things up on, and she's got tiny little, bottles, but like with big thumb handles, so she can do everything. And she seems to delight in making these tiny, tiny little drinks. Welcome, welcome.
Hello.
Hello.
Oh, hello there. I didn't see you. Welcome. You look new.
Yeah. Whoa. Wow.
Oh, you're all so small.
What?
You're all so small and beautiful. What can I get you? I have many tiny drinks.
Yeah, I'll take a tiny drink. I like look over at Celise, like, what's a tiny drink? You know, like,
It's just a small drink. It's okay.
Oh, I'm so. Oh, it's like, and then you start to sit, and she. Oh, I believe that chair. And she points to a chair right next to it. Oh, you look best in that one.
Okay. And I like look over at Celise, and I'm like, I feel like I'm in a dollhouse right now. I feel like I'm in a dollhouse right now. And like, I sit down.
That is so delicious. delightful.
Is that what she's doing? Is that she's like arranging
so she's like, there's a lot of people who are obsessed with doll houses, right?
Yeah.
So imagine that there's this cloud giant who's obsessed with tiny houses and tiny buildings and tiny things, but the dolls are real.
That's true.
And they'll come to her and they'll play
That's
with
very
her.
true,
Are you
yeah.
kidding me? She's thrilled.
Yeah,
So
like if I built like an elaborate like house for mice, and then the mice actually show up and want to talk to me and hang out, and you're like, you're gonna look so cute in that chair.
she couldn't be happier every single evening.
okay,
She
I get
lines you
it.
up with drinks and a little bit of food, and the cost is cheap. It's like 5 silver. So she's clearly keeping the cost down. She just wants people here.
It's okay. We can just sit down.
Oh, awesome. So there's like a drink in front of me, or okay.
Yeah.
I imagine it's like a
It's
big.
still a little big.
Yeah,
exactly.
It's like, I start drinking it. And, how long have you been here?
Oh, well, I opened up a couple years ago. I never really was comfortable around my kind.
Yeah.
And she looks a little sad for a second, but I am here now. And tell me, what has brought you here?
Like look over at Celise. Like,
A bit of adventure.
Ah, I see you are a believer of Torm. I mean, not Torm, sorry.
Tyr.
Tyr, thank you. I see you are a follower of Tyr. You keep us safe and guard the roads and protect our hearts. Appreciate that. And she hands you another drink.
Thank you.
I myself follow the goddess Lyra. The lady Lyra has always been good to me. She came to me when I was with my others, when I was so sad and so alone. And she told me to come here and open a place. And she gestures beyond the bar. And as you look over, there's like all along the inside, there's like a shrine. There's candles and flowers and things that would bring joy, all lined up around the bar.
what happened to the others?
They're fine, I suppose. I don't talk to them, but they're where they are, making rules, being boring. And we're going to hold right there for a second. So we're going to jump over to the Rusty Nail. There is a low gray building with no windows and a front entrance guarded by a pair of thugs. The Rusty Nail is a known meeting place for the unsavory among Waterdeep. And there are like people kind of like one guy in front of you has gone in and he walks up and he says something to them and they're not going to let him in, but he slips them some gold and they wave him in. And you guys are next.
Okay.
Hey,
we're just new to the town and just like checking out some like local places. Can
great. And he tells you about 3 other places.
Okay, but we really want to go here.
Yeah, this isn't for you.
Shaka, please allow me. All right, so I'm gonna roll intimidation on this guy.
Oh,
Wow.
Intimidation.
Yes.
All right.
No bar fights yet, people.
So it's 16.
Okay. So I rolled a 2. So sometime in this guy's life, man, he's just got to fear short people. He's got to fear it. So like the whole time he's like trying to talk to you, but he keeps looking over at you and he's really uncomfortable.
So, listen, I know my friend Shaka here has done a lot of speaking, but you really have no idea who he is. Do you see those white robes?
He looks over at the white robes.
And then I just kind of look like this.
Right. Doesn't it really surprise you that his robes are so white?
Well, most people around here don't look that clean. No one in here looks that clean.
Yes.
I'm telling you, this isn't the place. You know what? Just go. And he opens the door and he lets you all in.
Thank you very much.
And I'm like, wow, you were actually useful, man.
And so it is like dark and dingy inside. There's a lot of people clustered over their beer. Everyone's kind of like either they're guarding their own space or they're in a booth in the back guarding that. No one is open. No one looks ready for conversation. What are you guys doing?
So I tell Perrin that I'm going up to the bartender to buy a drink and try to get some info.
Does that mean you're buying me a drink as well?
Are we on a date, Perrin? Because if we are, then we're going Dutch. Okay?
Well, I did get you in without having to pay a cover.
Oh, good point. Okay, I do owe you a drink then, but tell no one of this.
It'll be our secret.
Okay.
So you two stride over to the bar, and there's a particularly haggard, it's all balding in the front, but it's long and stringy, and he's got a scar along one cheek, probably in his 50s, human. What?
Okay. Hey, what's the drink that you would recommend to a person that's new to Waterdeep?
Ale.
Ale, that's kind of boring. You don't have any kind of
Whiskey.
Okay, now we're talking. Okay.
Pulls this like dingy bottle out, puts 2 mismatched shot glasses in front of you, and pours 2 whiskey. 2 silver.
Okay, so I give him 3 silver. Okay, thanks.
Thanks. It's a decent tip.
Yeah. And it was 50%.
Yeah. It's not bad. It's not bad. Fair enough. It's not
What's
bad.
going on with the roofie?
Yeah. No, fair enough.
Okay. So I continue talking to the barkeep, and like I say, like, okay, so we're in from town. Just like wondering, have you guys heard about what's going down in Nightstone?
And he just kind of looks around. What do you know? Roll persuasion.
Okay.
Should I be rolling persuasion?
Ooh. No,
Persuasion
too
as
late.
well?
He just clamps down and he's like, drink your drinks and get out. And he walks to the other end of the bar. There's other people in the bar, but he's clearly got nothing to do with you anymore.
Is there someone like playing music?
No. No, but there are like people, like there's people on the bar next to you and around you. Roll a perception check, actually. Perfect. 20.
Nice.
You see like 2 seats down, there's a dwarf, and you just see the tip of a flute sticking out from his robe before he shuffles and tucks it back in.
Okay, so I walk over to the flute player and I say, "Hello, my good man."
He looks at you with 2 bleary eyes, and he takes his ale, and nods, and he drinks it and puts it down.
"Phil, you don't recognize me?"
And he looks back at you. I don't know halflings. What you need?
Come on. The famous Pernundabo from the south.
Roll persuasion.
Deception, right?
Well, no, he might totally believe he's famous. Whether he is or not, he believes he's famous.
Yes.
20.
20. Okay. So you start talking to him for a while, and he's a little drunk, and he starts talking to you back, and he starts to give you a little bit of information, and this is all the information he gives you. You talk about this, and you talk about gold. I'm sure you kind of bait him a little bit.
Yeah.
Right. So he's like, there's a lot of tension between the Black Network and the Xanathar, and folks around here are afraid of it turning bloody real quick. So the 2 main factions that work in the seedy underbelly seem to be gearing up against each other.
Really? Oh, well,
You know what they're looking for?
what are they looking for?
He looks around. He's like, gold. There's a hoard of gold buried somewhere underneath Waterdeep. More than one powerful faction is on the hunt for it, from what I hear.
Now, do you happen to know where we can find said gold?
You think I'd be here if I knew where you could find that kind of gold?
Well, you would attempt to do it, but you need a team.
Well, it's tricky, because this is what I've heard. And then he gets real low, and he leans in real close. The gold belonged to a lord. He embezzled it and hid it from the city, locked it away in a vault deep underground. He used magic. He used a magic stone. And here's where it gets tricky. His magic stone took the memories out of his head, and the memories out of all the heads of his men who helped him make it, and put them in the stone. See, even he doesn't know where it is. Apparently, you gotta find that stone, and that's what people are on the hunt for.
And how are they hunting? Is there a treasure map?
There's just one word: galore.
Galore.
And that's it.
Oh, what a fabulous word.
Anyway, Eddie kind of pushes himself up and barely stands up. Frank, it was really good to see you. And he pats you on the shoulder, and he goes stumbling out of the bar. And at this point, like the bouncers, like the bartender is like motion to the bouncers, and it's clear that you guys are going to be asked to leave. So what are you doing?
Well, I don't know if you've had a chance, Shaka, to run into some other tieflings.
Yeah. Sorry, good.
But I think our time at the Rusty Nail is coming to a close.
Okay, so I'm going to Can I do a quick check to see if there's any other tieflings?
Sure. Roll a perception.
All right. So I got a 16.
Tonight there aren't. There actually aren't. There are no, not that you can see. There don't seem to be any other tieflings here. Maybe it's not tiefling night. I don't know. There's no other tieflings here.
That's true. I didn't get offered like a tiefling one.
Yeah. Two for tieflings.
Ladies, leave your teeth inside home.
So do you guys just head out?
I mean, so I feel like we got some great information.
Right.
Which I'm sure he would tell you right away, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, he would definitely tell me. And because I don't notice any other tieflings in there that I feel like would give me the real dirt.
Right.
We just had
this guy did seem real honest, though.
Before we leave, I don't like the cut of the bartender's jib.
Sure.
So I want to roll sleight of hand to take the whiskey.
Oh, okay. All right. Roll sleight of hand. You're going to beat him.
21.
Yeah, you're going to beat him. All right, so you Pan Underberg does not stay where he's not welcome. Just this bottle of whiskey. All right.
Exactly.
And you guys head out.
Yes.
Now to the Lucky Duck. It is a gambling hall with a narrow, long bar running through the length of it, separated by a lane of crimson marble for the host to bring food and drink to the more than 24 tables. And a variety of games are being played here. There's Tamora's Favor, which is a dice game, right? There's Abathor's Gambit, which is a card game, and there's the Run of Mersith, or the Run of Luck, translated from its original Dwarven, where there are 5 lizards in little cages along the back, and then there's this little maze where they run down this long table, and whoever gets to the front wins. And the little cages have names on them. The lizards this night are called Pitter Patter, Fleet Feet, Fly Swatter, Zoomers, and Tiny Dragon.
Tiny dragon. Before we step in, I go, Chips, backpack. Just so.
Yeah. And Chips are like little head up and then
Yeah.
nods and then down. And you can see little fox eyes.
Yeah. So I'm taking Ren's cue and just kind of trying to compose myself and just walk in like I
He's just
belong
like-
there.
Like, just
Yeah.
performance. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. That's not awesome. 10?
Yeah. So
okay.
you walk in and you're all
Yeah.
striding and you go to throw your cloak down and it catches on your shoulder and
And
you're
so
like,
it's stuck.
and then try to get your arm out.
It's like stuck and I'm like,
spin around.
and I look at Ren.
Yeah, yeah.
I got you.
Mentroll, yes,
Yeah.
perfect.
And then I do one of these
Yeah.
when you finish.
So can we go to the card game?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
So you want to go
to play some cards?
Yeah, then you want to race some lizards?
Yeah.
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 All right, so let's go. So you take a seat next to 3 others at one of the tables for Abathor's Gambit. As you do, though, as you walk up to it, you notice there's another table in the back that looks really fancy, and there's like a velvet rope, and there's a couple attendants back there, and there clearly is a high rollers table in the back.
See that over
Over
there?
there.
You think we should go over there?
Yeah.
And so Ren gets up, is like, follow my lead, and starts walking.
And I'm
he's throwing his
Yeah.
gold in the air, trying
Yeah.
to be a badass.
So I'm doing that too. I'm trying to copy him, but it's really bad. And I don't have gold, I have a rock.
just a random rock. So you all walk up, and the host kind of nods. He's like, well, no gold here. This is the high rollers table. Magic items only forbidding.
But do you not know who we are?
Yeah.
No. Also, magic items only.
You think so? Ren is trying to figure out a way to get in the game, and he's like, okay, and he turns around, and he's like, okay,
Yeah.
we gotta figure this out.
All right. Does anybody in this room have a magic idol we can take?
Let's see. Can we walk around and see?
Well, how would you recognize a magic item?
I don't have any.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
Well, how would they recognize a magic item?
They have wands. They have
Okay.
these they have these clear glass wands, and as the other people are seated at the table, they're putting things forward. There's a halfling named Middens, which is a plump older woman with round spectacles and a shock of silver hair. And she places an amulet before her. There's Zor, a high elf, tall, beautiful, adorned with silks and silver. Basically like a mirror of you, but it's all silver, right? And he places down a pair of boots. There is Scarhill, a mounted dwarf, broad shoulders and a large scar and very gruff looking, but clean and presentable, and he puts down a series of silver chimes. And there's Kari, a human, with flame red hair dressed in rich leathers and silk that have been dyed a deep crimson. She's loud and brash. She exudes self-confidence, and she puts a gem in front of her. And the wands are waved over them, and each of the wands turns blue as they pass over.
Oh, I have my staff, though. Can I use it? Can I just, like, take it out and just go, like, what about this?
And they wave a wand over it and it turns blue. Would you like to bet it?
Do it.
All right.
Do it.
All right. So you guys sit down to bet. Now, this is how this game works. Okay.
I love it.
Yeah, I don't know.
I dig this.
I need you to play one of the people at the table. Actually, no, I'm just going to roll the dice. So what you want to do is you want to roll every round. So you have now, normally you would ante up, but since this is one round, you just do it. So you roll a die 8, a die 4, and a die 6, and you add them up. And I'm going to assume that the other two went low, and you're just against one person. But the winner takes all.
So funny because we have like the two enablers on the same time. You want to do it? Yes, we'll do it. Yes,
Totally.
yes.
So all your cards are handed to you face down, and you turn them up. Oh, sorry. So it's these 3.
Oh,
right?
Oops.
So it's a triangle and a pyramid and a square.
And a square.
All right. We turn our cards face up and go.
Oh my god, yes.
I have 13.
The
6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Oh.
10.
Oh, thank you, sir. And all the items are swept up, and the elf looks incredibly pleased to have received all the items. It's good to see you, brother.
Hi.
Thank you for your things. Anything else you wish to bet?
I don't have anything.
Oh, well, thank you all. Come again, please. And you are escorted out of the VIP section.
Oh my god.
Like, Corinne's like, I'm living this right now.
Don't panic, don't panic. Hey, we'll get it back.
I don't know what we're gonna do. I just lost my staff.
No, we find that guy. We break into his house and get it back.
Should we do that?
Yeah.
Okay.
And he just kind of like whiffs past you and like it's like traces a finger across the back of your shoulder, and he leans in and he's like, well, I do feel a little bad. So how about this? I'll give this back to you if you tell me what you're doing here. Clearly you're not here for gambling.
Should we tell it? Should we tell it?
I know, we're just having a lot of side
Should we tell it? Brendan's shook right now. He's just like, bet it all. Now he's like, I don't even know if I should say hello.
I step forward and I say,
we're investigating some terrible crime.
That sounds very important.
It is very important, and we were just trying to blow off some steam.
Oh, well, consider this a warning. You'll be taken for everything you have in this city.
What's your name? You're all mysterious.
My name is Zor. And with that, he just kind of looks at you again and just kind of cocks his head. And you are quite pretty. Anyway, I'll be here most evenings. Ta-ta.
Wait, are you gonna give him his stuff back?
He gave him
oh,
his
he did.
stuff.
Okay.
He kept everything else, but
Okay,
he gave him his,
fine.
but he gave his staff back.
It's
Yeah.
like, did you see?
He was giving you eyes, you know? Yeah.
All right. For the sake of, unfortunately, we're a little tight on time, so I'm going to need you guys to leave the casino. I'm sorry to force you guys.
Go, Rick.
The rope just like falls off. He's like, right here.
You guys have been around. Well, you can always come back, but we need to because we're up against the other episode. So you guys all kind of meet back up in a central area, and you all are, I'm assuming, exchanging information.
Yeah.
So you all get there about the same time. You, as you're talking to everyone, just out the corner of your eye, you see a kid like near an alley pull a slingshot and fire a rock at you. Oh, I'm at disadvantage. So one's definitely not going to hit you. So it just flings like way up and smashes a window above you, and the kid goes to load again, and then like basically gives you an F and goes diving down an alley.
What the crap? That little punk was trying to hit me.
I want to go after him.
All right, so Knock Knock goes charging
Also,
after
I
this
imagine
kid.
Knock Knock's wearing like a T-shirt from the bar,
Yeah.
like with your face on it. She like made us like wear these T-shirts.
Totally.
I have my like souvenir mug with her
They're
face
just
on
way
it.
too large.
Yeah.
Even for you, they're way too large. Yeah. So Knock Knock goes tearing down
There's
after
also
this
an
kid.
extra hole where she thinks an arm is supposed to be.
She doesn't quite understand humans. Yeah. She thinks all humanoids are humans.
Yeah, and I'm just like, Knock Knock is just a kid.
Tearing after him. What are you guys doing?
I'm not running after
I
him.
think I'm gonna go too, because like Ren tries to be there for Knock Knock, so
That's
he's gonna
fair.
fall.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we saw someone do that, and then Knock Knock just bolted.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, then I'm running after him.
Well, who's staying behind?
I'm staying.
All right.
I'm staying. He's trying to trap us.
All right, so
Yes.
you go running after him, and he runs down, and Allie then just kind of like dives down behind another alley, and right as you come around the corner, standing on a rooftop is a huge half orc, even dwarfs Knock Knock, and he's got a bow lined up with 3 arrows lined in it, and he fires. I need initiative.
What the crap?
Is that for us that stayed too, or just?
Oh
for,
no, you wouldn't have seen this.
Okay,
So
it's
yeah.
around the corner. Okay.
15.
All right.
14.
Can you keep initiative?
Oh darn, the paladin's table.
Paper. Sorry.
Sorry, that is.
We're really professional here. Thank you so much.
15.
15. All right. He got a 14, surprisingly, because I did not roll well. My dice like you guys, and they keep like, nope.
What did you get?
15.
Okay.
Yeah, 15 too.
And I got a 16.
Okay, so you go first, and then. Well, actually, you tell me.
Yeah, who would you like to go
So
first?
he fires the arrow.
Yes, so that
At
happens
me?
first at 3 of you.
Ooh.
Okay, so he's like 1, 2,
Yep.
3.
Does a 22 hit you? Yeah. All right. Celise does a.
Lisa's not there.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, not Ash does a 14 hit you.
Yes.
Okay. And does a 19 hit you?
Yes.
All 3 of you are struck with an arrow. You take 3 points of damage. As it wings you, you take 10 points of damage as it sinks into your leg, and you take 9 points of damage as it hits you in the shoulder. And he's already reloading.
Okay. Do we hear that?
Roll perception as you guys are talking to each other, because you guys are pretty much on guard.
20.
You're awake. Natural
Nat
20.
20.
You hear the bow brought back. You hear the 3 arrows fly, and you definitely hear grunts from your friends.
All right. So I tell everybody else. All right, guys, we got to go. Knock Knock got us in some trouble.
All right.
So
You guys will be there next round.
okay.
So go in order.
So Knock Knock's first.
All right.
He actually probably hears the bow like being pulled back right
So
away.
just as it, absolutely.
Just as he hears it and lets it go, he takes an arrow and he's pulling out the bamboo one.
Yeah.
And he wants to like launch it right at him.
Awesome.
And, like, hit him.
Roll to hit.
That is a. What is the plus on it? What I didn't write it down.
So it'd be the plus for you having a throw weapon. So it's going to be like, I think, an 18 for you. It's a +2.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah. 18.
Okay. So 18 is going to hit.
Cool. And what's the damage on the?
1d6 +1 plus your strength bonus.
Oh, okay.
It's a thrown weapon.
Yeah. Okay.
Just hurl that sucker.
7.
7. Okay. So he throws right at him, and just at the last second, he moves. So it cuts along his face and then takes a chunk out of his ear. Doesn't seem to even register the pain before he lines back up. Who's next?
Rin.
Okay. Can I use my dad? Well, how close are they? Are they like, or the? Can I use my dagger?
They are. You can throw it at him.
Okay. I'll try.
He's on a rooftop like 2 stories above you.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'll try my light crossbow.
All right. You've had it loaded for like 2 days.
I've been in
finally get
Waterdeep
it.
for 5 minutes and I've lost both my.
18?
18.
You hit him. Roll damage.
Finally.
Ren got serious.
Finally. Okay. 2.
Okay, again, it cuts into his leg. He doesn't respond. He's still reloading. Who's next?
Ash.
Has he said anything to us?
Nothing,
He just,
not a word, just started
Wow.
firing.
what the crap?
And just mechanical almost, just cold-blooded started firing.
Oh my gosh,
I load up my longbow, I guess, and I try. So I'm not trying to injure him exactly. I want to try to injure his his arm.
So you're like basically trying to stop him from firing.
Yeah.
Roll a hit.
That was 5.
It goes towards his wrist, and he turns his bow at the last minute, deflecting the arrow, spins the bow upside down, and still pulls an arrow back.
This guy's good.
Who's next?
You.
Okay, he's gonna fire at you.
Okay.
Does a 14 hit you?
Yeah, no.
Okay, so he fires and misses. He fires again. Does a 17 hit you?
Yes.
But you step out of the way of one and into the other, and that sinks deep and causes you 9 points of damage.
Oh my gosh.
Who's next?
Me.
He's already
Knock, knock.
reloading.
So as a bonus, I can pull back the.
Oh yeah, so you can you could recall it and then like add so it lands in your hand and you can spin and hurl it again. Yeah.
Is there any type of like what are the walls like? Can I climb on the walls or like
you
is there like
totally
some type
try
of
and climb.
windowsills like windowsill?
It's like all stone like built out, so you could easily scamper up the side of this. Roll a climb.
Okay. Was acrobatics?
Yeah.
16.
Okay, you actually be athletics.
Athletics?
Yeah. Fuck it.
17.
16's fine.
17.
Even better. All right, so you are almost at the top. So you have managed to climb about 15 feet. He sees you and like starts to back up. What is everyone? Who's next?
Can I?
Oh, you can totally do something.
I want
to climb and then throw the last 5 feet.
Yeah, I want to throw the air.
Sure,
like
roll to hit.
Nice.
So as you're climbing, it like rips back into your hand, which surprises him, and you throw it again.
It's 14.
14's going to hit him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's just in leathers.
Okay, cool. 11.
Okay, that is a real solid strike. So he takes it in the forearm, and he sees that you're coming up, and he lowers his bow, and turns and sprints the other way. Step, 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 leaps a good 20 feet across an alley, boom, onto the other roof, and just tears off.
Oh, wow. So adrenaline like kicked in for Knock Knock in this situation. He was like, I think being like, making eye contact with a half orc kind of like sent him in this like a very primal, like, non-elf like mood. Like I know what this is.
There's a snarl that comes out of you, and none of you have heard that before.
And it wasn't about like strategy. What's the best strategy on this? Like, I want you dead.
Yep.
Like that's what he was like. So now he's just kind of like composing himself and like he knows he can't do what that guy just did, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so you come back down?
Yeah.
All right, so as you come back down, I'm sorry, guys, I got to wrap it up because we're right against time. As you come back down, Melanie has come out, and she has come out to find you, and she finally said, finally, I came across you. We're in. We should go rest now. Tomorrow morning, we're going straight to Mert. Are you ready? And then she looks at you, and she sees you, oh, God, what is, look, just come quickly before anything else happens. Let's go rest.
Okay.
Yeah, I take off the shirt that was like the souvenir shirt that's all bloody. It's all bloody.
They actually went through the third arm.
Like I like take it out and like as we're passing, like I throw it in the trash and it's just hanging off. And I was just like, it's her face and it's just all bloody on it. It's like we fade away.
That's
well,
tough.
Celeste gives you hers that she like put in your backpack.
But Knock Knock is ripped. He is ripped.
I have my armor on underneath.
All right. So sorry guys, that's it. We are right up against time. My name has been Aram, and we don't have time for our normal exits. We're going to go right to the video. Thank you so much for seeing us, and we're going to post a bunch more information online. See you guys next week.
Bye.
Bye.